you jack me up?
We'll find out. What episode am I on? 46?
46.
Uh-oh. We are frozen.
Oh, wait, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh. It seems like you lost video feed?
Huh.
Just deactivate and reactivate the camera. Just double click the source.
But I'm frozen!
Yeah, double click the,
Chris, how can I double click when I'm frozen? You don't understand.
Wait, is the computer frozen?
No, I'm frozen.
Okay, then yeah, so in the source box.
It's a stasis. I can't...
Yeah, this one, double click it, just deactivate, reactivate, it should be fine.
Out of
yeah,
the
there it
stasis.
is. Look at that. All right.
Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is on the Anvil. What episode is it? 46?
Yes, you asked literally.
I
then
did.
you got distracted by.
Blew up. I don't know what's going on. This is the show where nothing ever goes wrong. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge. Problems and all. What's wrong now? What?
You had the mic on at the beginning, so literally the chat is just full of 46, 46, 46. And people saying, like, we didn't hear Nate checking the episode number or anything.
Oh.
And then, Nate, it isn't exciting that you got it right when we hear you ask what episode it is.
Well, this the first time I thought to even ask him it. Oh, well, anyway, what is this show? I don't know. We're gonna hang out for 2 hours. We're gonna have a drink, and we're gonna talk about all things Dwarven Forge. I am Nate, and this is Chris, and we're a very buttoned up operation. And we're
yeah. Oh, was I supposed to be wearing something with buttons?
No. No dress requirements.
Um,
So what are we doing? What are we doing tonight? What's going on? Who's on
tonight?
first?
So that build that we started last week that wound up being way too ambitious for a single stream, where we were trying to have a flooded city that was then also frozen over. A bunch of build techniques that we hadn't thought of before. We're gonna work on finishing that up today, while talking about a couple topics that you guys have requested through various platforms. Just kind of a more laid back sort of thing, talking about some stuff potentially about the future of the company.
Woo! Future!
Yeah, the future. Before that, though, we got some news.
Wait, I can put sound effects in this thing, right? The Stream Deck?
You can, yeah, you can.
That's so awesome.
We can either put sound effects in the actual animation itself, or we can just give you sound effect buttons on the Stream Deck. You can just hit whenever you want.
Yowling cats and like wow.
I've got a button on mine to play "Hurt" by Johnny Cash.
Hurt is not by Johnny Cash. Hurt is by Nine Inch Nails.
It's
Trent
his
Reznor.
version. It's Johnny Cash's version, though.
Yeah, but you guys, he covered.
I don't like the Nine Inch Nails cover. Then.
All right, what's in the news?
What's in the news? First off,
this episode is already off the rails, and we're not even in the last 15 minutes.
Our Kickstarter of the week. We talked about them before, but we want to make sure we highlight them because they are heading into their final day. It is Tabletop World with their Graveyard Kickstarter. A lot of really great-looking stuff, and especially with us going back into cities soon, some of you might want to pick up some of these graveyard pieces to mix in with our existing city pieces or the stuff that we're going to be showing you over the next couple months. It's really beautiful-looking stuff. They're doing pretty well. Get in on it now if you can.
Here's a. This is the mill, but the water wheel isn't on, and it's not on this base. But this is from their older stuff. Super. Yeah. Oops, forgot my mic. Super talented artists. Really neat stuff. Very fragile. Not super modular, but man, it's gorgeous. And they deliver quickly. Wrapped in crumpled up newspaper. They're great folks, and they're like 140K. They've unlocked a ton of stuff. There's a church. Like, definitely worth checking out. 24 hours left or something. 28.
To reiterate and clear up any confusion, that piece is not something we're making for the Kickstarter. That is a Tabletop World piece.
Yes.
It's the Kickstarter I just linked. This piece isn't from that. It's something they made in the past. They're doing graveyards right now.
If we were doing this, we would have to cut it up into...
Yeah. It has to be a lot of smaller pieces.
6 plus the world... Yeah, this would be like 30 pieces. This would be... plus some accessories. Anyway, they're great folks and a good artists.
Yeah, they probably do some of like the best detailed work in that space. I think.
Yeah, they're awesome.
It's really impressive.
Yes.
How fragile is that?
Staggeringly. Like if you breathe,
you want to be very careful with them.
My description to Chris earlier was I breathed on something at the office and it broke. Like they're more fragile than the driftstone stands from Caverns Deep. It's very brittle, like polyurethane resin, nice and crisp, but it's hand poured resin, and it's very, very brittle, and it's a lot of painting ahead of you. But they're very, very pretty. But don't let your kids near it.
Yeah. In another bit of Kickstarter news, friend of the Forge, Satine Phoenix, has a Kickstarter launching tomorrow for a setting called Sirens Battle of the Bards. It's a setting in campaign that is all about bards leading a revolution in a city, which sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. They're starting tomorrow, so if you want to get on the notification list, I'm putting the link in chat.
11
should be a lot of fun. It looks like they've got pretty high production values on the thing, which makes sense. She's experienced in modeling, so they've got a lot of very good photos.
It's a campaign setting focused on a city, a 10-layer vertical city. It's like these discs, layers up. Salvada, I forgot the name. I think it's Salvada. Really cool setting. It's what's neat is you can just sort of drop it into your homebrew anywhere. Underground magic dueling arenas and all these arts, and it's really kind of cool looking thing. They've got something absurd like 20 bard subclasses or something in there, and a bunch of magic items, a bunch of stuff. She's doing it with Jameson Stone, who I think is her fiance. But they poured so much into it. I got to see a preview yesterday, and it's like they've got a lot of fun stuff planned, and it's just like it's gonna be a really nice thing. Like they've just beautiful setup. The previous book, he did this book called The Red Opera. It's like 400 pages. They're gonna send us a copy so we can show up next week. It's like a 400 page. It's like it must be a 40-pound book. It's so like crazy, this like crazy foil print cover. I don't know. It's gonna be a really, really pretty to hold thing. There'll also be a PDF version. They've got fun bits like dice and coins and all sorts of neat. I don't know. It's gonna be a neat one to if nothing else, watch for $1. And they're good folks, pouring a lot of passion into it. And I think I'll be playing in a live game during the thing. They're kicking off tomorrow with a live stream that starts at 8 a.m. their time, so 11 a.m. our time. They're streaming for 12 hours or something, culminating in a game. So they're trying to give us a run for our money, Chris.
Uh-oh.
What do you think? Should we start an 8 a.m. stream on our launch, next Kickstarter launch?
I think we do a 24-hour stream.
All right, I'm in. Let's do it.
I think we stream 24/7 during KS8. We'll stream me sleeping in the production room,
sleeping at the desk, sleeping on the floor.
Just have a constant camera up in the corner, over the entire office.
You know, it's actually not the craziest thing I've ever heard. Right? They have those like webcams set up in like a street corner, and you can see a thing. We could have just a production room webcam.
A number of people have been doing streams like that lately. Ludwig made it showed how. There's a streamer called Ludwig. He, I guess named Ludwig, not called Ludwig. He did a stream where by subscribing, people could extend the length of the stream, and he wound up streaming for over a month, I think, literally nonstop. So streamed himself sleeping, showering, eating, like everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a commitment.
So a number of people are doing streams like that now.
Well, we'll just jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know, also, Chris, off script, you know, your beloved Monster Hunter, Steamforge launched that Kickstarter yesterday. They did 2 million in a day.
Oh, I backed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm a little bummed at some of the monsters that aren't in there, but maybe they'll get released later. I don't know. They're not doing stretch goals, so I'm not sure.
They're doing this cool thing where they just an automatic stretch goal every day.
Yeah, daily unlocks, which is fun. It's been cool how they've adjusted the way they approach the Kickstarter to reflect a lot of the gameplay elements of the game, which I think is really fun. But yeah,
I don't know why everybody has swords that are 4 times the size of them, but yeah.
Because they are fighting nothing but gigantic monsters that are way larger than them.
But anyway,
it's a thing where okay. So first off, it definitely has like a bit of anime influence, especially more recent titles. They've gotten very into like the just super flashy like moves in combat, and so part of it is it's definitely a series about excess, about everything being
okay.
Like,
I'm in.
Large and loud. It's very.
So it's Fast and the Furious fights monsters.
Yeah, it's very it's very big. Like I said, I just need to show you some stuff from it because I think there's a lot of stuff in the designs that you'll like a lot, particularly when it comes to palisades and forts and the like. I think you'll love the way that they approach it.
Do the palisades have logs that are 4 times the size they should be?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they have. So Monster Hunter World, one of their the first settlement that you go to was literally made out of a ship that got thrown up on the rocks and like dashed there, and so just like this ship like lodged in the mountains that they've turned into a gathering hall.
And it's all dinosaurs.
Yeah. There's some dinosaur style things. A lot of it's wyverns. It's mostly wyverns.
Because I saw a lot of dinosaurs. But anyway, so that's going. Anyway, what else?
Yeah.
So what's all in the real news? What do we have in the real news?
Yeah. Real news. Our friends over at Norse Foundry have released some music for streaming and podcasts and the like. That is royalty free, like some good soundtracks. With how much DMC takedowns have been increasing in number lately. A lot of people have been looking for safe ways to be able to have music in their streams.
Here you go.
And
it's free, right? It's all like that's the cool.
It's all free, yeah.
Yeah.
This
it's on
stuff
Spotify.
is all good to use. It's pretty good stuff. I listened through some of it. So if you do any kind of streaming or the like, and you need some fantasy music, or if you just want some stuff to listen to while you write like your campaigns or something, or just to set the mood for your players, it's pretty good stuff. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's all on Spotify for free.
There's a disappointing lack of power metal, but other than that, like, off we go.
They didn't have guitars in this fantasy land, I guess, that we're talking about.
There's dragons. There's 2-handed swords that are like 9 feet long. There's like, why can't
but Spelljammers is too far. All right.
No, we're not even. All right, next news item.
Yeah,
next news item.
Next
I don't even. All right. I'm not going down that.
So we've got next week's episode. We want to go ahead and say what next week's episode's topic is going to be, because it's one that I think a lot of you are going to be pretty excited about.
It's a hot topic.
As you know, we've been doing a lot of reconfiguration of some of our past Kickstarters, some of our past sets, to try and make them easier to stock and everything. We've made a fair amount of progress on that. We just sent some new ones out for production. And so next week, we want to just do an episode kind of talking about the progress we've made on the reconfigurations and see what kind of other bases you guys want us to cover.
I want to show all these new sets that we're putting together. We got some exciting stuff. And with some good stuff with input from you guys. Like we've had some, some of our reorders have been affected directly by these Twitch streams.
Vaulted diagonal walls.
They're on order. They are incoming.
So we were doing that
2024.
We've got a tentative launch date, but we aren't 100% certain it will be on that day, so we don't want to announce it yet. Next week we should have the definite go time,
green light to say it
for that. But it's very soon. If it stays the date that we're thinking it is, it's very soon.
It's imminent.
Yes. Nice. And then let's see. Then we have 2 bits of news related to shots. First is that Nate and I are both getting our second vaccinations next Wednesday at noon, which we realized after we had settled on that day and time that
maybe not
it may or may not impact next week's On the Anvil stream. We will be here. We just might. I don't know what state we're gonna be in.
Johanna was like, "You guys are describing it like it's gonna be an acid trip." She's like, "I had no effects." I'm like,
I'm kind of hoping it will be.
Maybe mine will be laced with acid. We don't know. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
We could, accidentally. So we'll see what happens.
I don't want to be.
Next week's episode could be we could be reconfiguring ourselves.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I just want to say that because some people apparently thought we got our second shots today.
No, next week.
And no, you're not going to get to see us suffer today, unfortunately.
Next week.
You'll have to come back next week to see if we suffer then.
Yes.
But speaking of shots, we have some new test shots.
We forgot
pieces in, including some of my favorite pieces that I'm very happy are here.
D&D Beyond.
What's up?
We didn't do D&D Beyond.
Oh, how did I miss that? Oh, it got sandwiched by Satine's thing. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. I gotta put this down. Pacific. Nate will be on stream, D&D Beyond's Twitch channel, along with Jason from Realmsmith.
Jason Azevedo. Yep.
Yeah. To be talking about terrain and world building and the like. It'll be a fun stream.
Basically, they couldn't, because of their ties with WotC, they couldn't officially say it was going to be like a terrain stream with someone from Dwarven Forge, so it's like a...
It's about world building. Just in our sense, we're talking about literally physically
building a scene.
Yeah.
But it should be fun. I don't know what all it's gonna have, but I think it'll be a nice little chit chat for an hour.
Yeah. So that'll be live tomorrow.
You know what you should do?
Eastern,
tune in.
Give it a follow. Head over there. Show some support if you want.
Tune in and start asking questions about Spelljammers in the comments and see what happens.
Yeah, make Nate like badmouth Spelljammers on air with D&D Beyond.
You guys know what to say. Just rile me up, press some buttons, and like, I'm all for that. Like, especially because they're not gonna know what's gonna like. Just throw some sneak in some secret sneak in some bombs and see what happens. I do have there's a little bit of mischief in me. Turns out.
Yeah. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let's take a look at those test shots.
Wait, I have this thing. I don't even need to go over there. All right, we're gonna go the close cam.
So somebody commented earlier. They're like, "It looks like Nate likes the Stream Deck."
Dude, it's awesome. The power. You know what's also really funny is so last week I couldn't get the camera to work. This week, I hacked in and I fixed it this week by I don't know, just turning it off and plugging everything back in.
We took all these precautions this week so that you'd be able, got you a different cam link and everything.
Absolutely not.
And then the old cam link just worked.
Yeah. So actually, this maybe the light is too hot on this. Let me cut this out. So we got some water mats. Is that too dry? Can you see it with the? No. These are our 24 by 24 texture mats. This is the swamp water algae. Just the swamp water. It's got a little Dwarven Forge in the bottom. Secret note from Tyler saying yes, this is approved. That won't be on yours, unfortunately. Yeah. It definitely sort of creases and wrinkles, but also then it smooths back out really easily. Like I creased the heck out of this one up, and then I just lay it on the floor, and it was better 20 minutes later. And then here's the mountain. The mountain water, which looks like. Have you ever been to Banff? In Canada, not Nightcrawler sound, but Canada.
I've never been to Canada.
Oh, it's beautiful, but this is the color of the water up in Banff. And then we got the dismal quagmire.
People are asking how much for the autographed mat.
Ooh, the Tyler. Maybe you can strike a deal with Tyler. Should we give away an autographed mat that Tyler has autographed?
And we don't tell him first. We just we auction it off, and then we tell him, hey, by the way, you got to sign one of these.
Let's you and I keep the cash. We'll just it's a perfect plan. These look really nice with the little banks. Look at these banks. Yeah, these texture mats I'm super excited about. Let's go to a. Can we see this?
I'm really happy with the maps. I'm glad we started moving into that territory.
Let's go overhead. Oh, I've got the thing. Huh. Overhead.
Slush fun for snacks on the anvil.
Wait a second.
I miss having like a never-ending supply of peppermint
Why
patties.
did all the cameras go? That's so weird. My overhead went dead also. Whoops. Look at that. There's my dinner. Oh no. Why? Riddle me this.
Yeah, what is happening?
I don't know. The internet stopped working. I mean, not I think
we're still alive.
Yeah, no, my overhead camera is I don't know what happened. It decided. See, that one works. I cannot explain. Well, back to the close. Any idea how to get, like, the light is on. It acknowledges that it's there, but it's just sending me a black signal.
Well, it looks like it's on. Okay, so wait. So which camera just isn't working at all?
The overhead. No.
The overhead's not working at all.
Yeah, well, it has that weird. It had that weird frozen. I tried turning it off.
You deactivated and reactivated it, and it's not working?
Yeah. Let me add a new one.
Did you unplug and replug?
No. Should I do that before I add it again as a? Let's try it.
Try it.
If I can find it.
The only other thing I can think of.
But it was working like it was working earlier, and in fact it brought up a still like where it had frozen out.
The only other thing I can think of is that
yeah, now it's working.
If it's being plugged, it's working now.
Yeah.
All right, let's not ask questions any further. Let's just get going.
Yeah.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Is the lens cap on?
Lake from above. Woo!
Man, that just looks gross.
Dismal Quagmire.
Very nice.
This is actually not as purple. It looks more purple on camera than it is. Not that I have anything wrong with purple.
I just watched the color shift, so the
I don't know what's going on, but
oh wow, it like really changes. Like,
yeah.
When you picked it up a little bit, it like changed the angle and.
Yeah. Go back to the next one. All right. Anybody want to see anything with these things before? Is it better without the? Yeah, look at these Quagmires. They're really. I'm very excited.
What are the maps made of? They're neoprene, right?
No, they're plastique.
Okay.
I don't know what it's some sort of weirdo textured vinyl plastic something. And they have this really wonderful texture, and it gets all the refractions and specular excitement.
You want to see them in person? Yeah, they read a lot better to the eye than
Well, you know what it is? This is probably killing us. This backlight.
It does have a very strong backlight.
Yeah.
Are those mats okay to roll? Yeah, you can roll these.
I roll them up to get them here.
How should I store the mats? Will they crease? Yeah, you should be able to just roll these things. It should be fine. He's creased them a couple times, and they've always just smoothed back out without having any problems.
I haven't tried putting them like, rolling it up, then like squashing it with a book and leaving it there for a week and then taking them out. And
can you run it over with your car and see what happens?
Jeff Martin style. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have to see. But they look fantastic, and they're interesting to catch on camera because of the sheen, depending on what you're angling at. But it's pretty cool. It's also why they look like water, is because they have this really cool textury, glistening sheen.
Will hot weather make them sticky? I guess we'll find out soon.
I don't know. In another couple of months, it's going to be hot as can be down here. So
does the lake map match the river trays? Yeah, yes. They're made for the water to spill out into, right?
Yes. So we have a river mouth. We have a river mouth terrain tray that is going to match this really well. In fact, we had to wait till we had our final sample on this to lock the terrain trays because they all needed to fit together. So that's actually still in the works right now. They're going to get that matching going, but I am confident we will.
Yeah, the adventures of trying to get color temperature to match is
Oh well, everything, because it's printing on a different material and thing, and it's a whole thing. Put that up there.
Let's see.
They're awesome though. I think they should be game changers. And
we still don't have an update on the casting color for the waterfalls.
Nope.
We basically won't know until we get the test shot for the waterfalls.
We won't know until we know. Well, not even necessarily then. Even we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's look at. We got a bucket of new stuff though. So what else do we have here? We've got. Bum bum bum. Also have some riffraff.
Now, if only we had a modular pirate ship to put in that lovely ocean.
Nope. Oh, here's Mace's play chimp. Woo! The sticker that Mace made. All right, can we? What we need is some sort of modular sand jammer. That's what.
The factory solved the teardrop insert warping issue.
Oh.
We're sending in a new.
So I should have actually brought pictures. I could pull up pictures actually if we want to see. So yeah, Eli and Nina are tweaking the expanded masters to fit, and it's gonna be great. I'll pull up a picture of that in a sec when we get through these test shots if you want. Remind me. Oh man, what did I have up? You'd think by now I would know how to do this, but.
Did he just throw shade at sculpted sand?
No, I've got nothing against. Well, yeah, I've got nothing against sculpted sand. It's sand jammers. It's anything with the suffix jammer that I am morally opposed to.
You a jelly man?
I do love both jellies and jam. You know the best thing in the world? Cider jelly.
Yeah. Oh man. I used to have neighbors that did like apple orchard stuff. So like we would just get like random like apple products like throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like
cider jelly is the greatest.
Cider jelly is very good.
Our neighbors when I grew up, they're doing it on their farm for like 200 years. They actually have the oldest cider press, like in New England, working cider press. They used it for Cider House Rules. They shot all the cider press scenes there because they have this like really old school like crank down cider press. But you just use the same evaporator that you use for making syrup. You put your cider in there and evaporate it out, and it turns into jelly. So it's really efficient use of if you already have a sugar house, why not make some cider jelly? It's the greatest thing ever.
Is this different from apple butter? Very. It's very different. It's a completely different thing.
You literally take cider and you boil it down until it becomes like black. It's like black jelly, and it's the greatest thing in the world. It's like eating 100 apples in one bite.
Nate, a good cider jelly can be found in the Wind Jammer in Burlington, Vermont. How do you feel about that? It's a lot of complicated emotions.
There's so much happening there. I don't even know how to unpack it. No, the only cider jelly you can get is at Willis and Tina Woods in Wethersfield, Vermont. That's where you should get your cider jelly. But you can fly there on your sand jammer. I don't even know. Here's the quarter escarpment. We're gonna talk about these holes next week when we have an official thing. We have something. We have a plan for them, because they're irking me. But nice beefy.
Yeah, people are calling the hole a lot of unflattering terms at the moment.
Yeah, no, the hole's a jerk. We have a plan. Well, I'll tell you the whole tale of the hole. Perhaps next week. When we can officially talk about this thing. We got this little guy. What goes on it is the little where's the rod? This is one of the driftstone rods. I don't actually have the shorty little one, but so you could do if you wanted to pretend this was a driftstone floater. And this is not our final. This was a mock rod. That's why it's like it's frosted. So ignore the frostiness. But just marvel at the thing like floats.
Can we zoom out a little? Get a little
more.
more.
So I can actually see it, man.
Yeah. Cat, you gotta calm down.
You gotta calm down.
If you're gonna go in the closet, go in the closet.
Nice little guy. And we got these are what I needed last week. We'll talk
closet
about this
cat.
again.
She likes to like squeeze herself into like the corner of the closet behind all the stuff and sleep there.
Because it's safe and cozy.
Yeah.
These are Aranthor ledges, which...
So that's the dungeon gray color for escarpments, right? Not the Aranthor color?
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't know actually what color the final will be in. Where the heck are all... Oh, they're in that bill. Hold on a sec.
I just love how much time in these streams is spent with you completely off camera with things banging around.
I mean, that's most of my time down here. So these Aranthor ledges were designed. They have the same, so they're double-sided, right? Dead sides on the back, with Tyler's little signature on there. He put all the SKUs on these. Did he, or the date? Oh, he put TS test shot and the date. He is buttoned up, that guy. So double-sided, so you get organic, and they are designed to fit above or below the Aranthor pieces, the corresponding Aranthor pieces. Look how that lines up. We gotta get back in close.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you can just use that to get a little more height.
So you can get up to a full clean 2 inches here, or you can put it under. Or not. Lots of fun possibilities. Same with all of these guys, right? So each one lines up with a guy. Let's see this side. Oh, we got it straight. What am I missing? What do I do? Let's put it over here. Find there's one like the Goldilocks. It lines up perfectly in one configuration, and then you can flip it around from there to others. Boom. Boom.
That's nifty.
Yeah. Saw this. Oh man, what is this? 11,600 photos could not be imported from my phone.
Why were you trying to import 11,000 photos?
I don't know. It just told me I couldn't do it. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, Chris. Wait, how is this an overhead now? What is going? Oh, I don't understand. Now this camera is an overhead. Wait a second.
Wait, so you've got?
I don't know.
Oh, that must be what happened. You must have gotten the sources mixed up, and so it wasn't showing up because. But it was already being used by a different, like, camera's source.
Maybe. Yeah. Now this.
Yeah. So replace that camera with the one that's for you.
Wait, but this.
And then that should free up the overhead to go into this camera source.
Wait.
That you actually want for the overhead.
Now the overhead's working now again. So I don't know what's going on. But where was I? Wait. Oh. Ah. Anyway,
the studio's haunted. You have no. This isn't even the studio. This is his garage. But yes, actually, the studio is also haunted.
We had an incident shooting the build of the month. Speaking of an entity, a presence, there was something joined us in the shoot, and it was malevolent. And while we were making a story about a malevolent presence, so you do the math. I'm no conspiracy theorist, but it's not a theory if it's real. I'm just saying.
castle or the May one?
The May one,
one.
yeah. I blame Meta Elite.
If you saw that building, the Build a Mud stream, you know.
Don't say the name. Don't say the name. It was
yeah.
The presence arrived while we were shooting and things went off the rails. Like fog machines were getting possessed. It's no joke. Wait.
The cliff next to the escarpment, please.
The cliff next to the escarpment?
I think I want to see the height difference.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Bump, bump, bump. So it's exactly one floor's height different.
So then if you grab the... yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, I can turn you around.
Nice.
Yeah. So we can line these up. Looks a bit like that.
Lots of little ways to make like gradual rises through the mountains.
Uh-huh. No accident there, right?
Yeah. I think maybe that was one of the things that was like lost in the messaging, but there were some people who were like, I don't understand why there's a difference between cliff and escarpments. Like they aren't, like why aren't they all the same height? It's like, well, it's so that you can have like gradual steps up and have changes in elevation.
And the fundamental style of building differs in that the escarpments were designed to have the dead side on the bottom, kind of be one thing, work with trifecta ledges, whereas the cliffs were designed to have the dead side on the back. Where's the dead side? And so that they could be double-sided. They're generally were sort of more for building facades and whatnot versus like large elevated areas. But then you put you put the ledges in there and you can play them all together. If I could get them on camera. It has to be a little water. Let's go back to the we got this guy. I can't remember the name of any of these things now. This is a stepped rock lump thing. McGee.
Step stump crag. Step.
No, that one's this other one. I don't remember what this guy was called. Speaking of step stump crag, look at that thing. That, and this was the one that was the very, very first episode of On the Anvil before it was even called On the Anvil. Eli started sculpting this, and it has the little Luna moss that somebody asked to add, and I think he put a plant here because that was the thing, and like
that was technically the first On the Anvil episode.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Was sculpting this piece.
And if we want to, we can put this little guy in there.
Hi, Pint and Pie. I picked up a set of the starter set terrain unpainted. It's surprisingly solid. Like those poker chips that when you put them in hand, they just feel rich.
Yeah.
Good job. Also got 5 minis to see how they look. Very detailed. Yeah, so that's like the thing with our stuff is, we don't, this isn't 3D printed. It's not resin. It's not plastic that, you have to like look out for or is fragile or something. We make our stuff out of a weightier, more durable material, so that like if you drop it, it's gonna be fine.
Dwarvenite.
Yeah.
Where is the? Damn it.
Especially with this stuff from Wildlands. Wildlands is a lot of just really big.
Yeah. I love the description of it being like a premium poker chip.
Yeah, well, no, it's true, right? Like you get a box of those like nice poker chips that have like the
However many grams.
As opposed to the ones that feel like checkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we want to be the big beefy ones, the big beefy boys.
Yeah. Six says.
Hello, Six.
Says watching the VOD of that On the Anvil and listening to Eli sculpt this is the reason I wound up being sold on Wyvern Stone pieces, which ultimately led to me increasing my pledge from a single wargaming pledge to Untamed.
Woo!
Proof equals pudding for On the Anvil success.
And maybe that proof will win you a giveaway at some point. We got our little we got our paired pegs over here, so we can do some sort of bridge shenanigans. Look at that. I don't know where it's gonna go to, but
nice. So these mountain pieces, man.
Yeah. This Wildlands piece.
All the different ways to combine the mountain pieces are going to lead to some just really good builds.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think the escarpments might be our most modular pieces.
I'm gonna call in sick when my Wildlands shows up, and just build for like a week. Just do some fun stuff like that. Yaddly yaddly. We got a vertical. We got a there's a little hole in there for attaching vertical rods for drift stones. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, and I didn't. This was this is the dead snag topper. All right, just a nice little dead tree.
Is the Nexus ready yet? No, the Nexus. No. We don't have the test shot for the Nexus yet.
No Nexus. Can also take this. Take a existing Dread Hollow. Oh, look at that.
On the Anvil, didn't quite do as much to my pledge as the streams. I feel like the daily streams definitely helped with messaging a lot, just in terms of we had more opportunities to do live demos of every piece than we've ever had before.
Yeah, it was awesome and fun and exhausting and ridiculous.
The one with Crystal Soli, I was like, yeah, getting all those minis. Yeah. Crystal was a lot of fun to have on.
Yeah.
That whole stream was cool. Just having all the time lapses of the concept art.
Boy, I can't even get this whole thing in focus.
A lot of sold out on the site.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot. We're actually taking a lot of steps to improve that. Next week's episode is actually all about how we're reconfiguring a bunch of the sets to be easier to restock.
Fundamentally, we don't have the working capital to stock all, like, whatever 1,500 different set SKUs we have. So if you don't get in on the Kickstarter, sometimes you have to wait a year or two or never to get the thing on the web store. But we're working on consolidating our sets so we can have stuff in stock. But
that's including having a update to the website or to the website store coming very soon.
Hopefully,
that should make a lot of that easier.
In a fortnight, hopefully.
Yeah.
This dead tree, I'm very excited.
Number 1, Victory Royale. Will the Steroid of Violence be restocked soonish?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm not sure. Let's check on that piece, actually.
Yeah, but it's all this is one of the reasons to back the Kickstarter is because you can guarantee you get the pieces you want.
Interesting. Crystal was the reason I found Dwarven Forge and why I backed at a Master Tier Swamp plus Heart of the
Swamp. Who said that?
I think it might be the first time we've heard that somebody came in because of our collab.
So these are things we got.
We're really, really happy with the results of that. Was our first time like collaborating with people on minis like that, and it really paid off. I think we created like a really solid set of unique monsters.
Yeah. And just got to work with Crystal, which is...
Crystal was also... Yeah, Crystal's great.
She's just amazing. This is the Wild Wolfsbane patch, which Chris wrote some stats for just recently. Great little piece of something.
Yeah, the stuff we came up for what the Wolfsbane does is very, very cool. I'm excited to release that.
We got... do we want to look at ruins or trifecta ledges next?
They're going to say ruins, I swear. They saw like a glimpse of the ruins in the corner of one of the shots, and everybody was freaking out over the arches.
All right, so we'll start with the most
the first one actually says trifecta, then ruins.
All right, fine. Trifecta?
Actually, it's even between ruins and trifecta right now. This is wild. Okay, no, now ruins is coming in.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so this is...
Okay, Six of Clubs says trifecta, but only to be contrarian. We're going to do both, so it'll be okay.
Yeah, it's all going to happen. Which we wanted to see first. This is... This is the first crumpled piece we got. Oh, man.
When is the Caverns Deep module going to be finished?
The module is finished, just the formatting is not. You can download it now, and as soon as Janet gets through these, she's doing just cleaning up the art on the rest of the Wildlands stuff we owe. I think she can dive into that. Oh, get that formatting done. But it's fully playable. It has all the info is there. It just hasn't the encounters 7 through 15 haven't been beautified yet. Can I even get this whole thing into focus? Let's see.
Glad I decided to add runes. Looks great. Yeah, I'm very excited for them.
Yeah, they are.
When is the PDS for backers release? Um, we're on track to have them out. Our plan is to release them when people start getting their Wildlands stuff, basically. That is being worked on right now, actually.
I think it's the first time we'll actually have the PDF content arrive at the same time or before when the physical stuff arrives, because we've always been pretty late with it.
Yeah, we've split it off. We've taken a lot of the burden off of the people who are already focusing on a lot of other stuff they have to do this time.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the problem with us, is everybody's focusing on a lot of things. We have a few people wearing a lot of hats, like 15 people and 50 hats.
Yeah. Seeing these again is mind-blowing. These are such incredible sculpts.
We do see all of them. These are just the first two.
Got a ton of runes, but some unpainted. I'm glad I got a bunch of unpainted, because there's like a lot of different schemes I want to do with them.
They're going to be really fun.
I want to do some sandstone runes.
I can't tell you how satisfying to like hold these pieces in hand, like have the final version of the thing and hold it in hand and have it be like what Toby said today. Was like, he's like, wow, it's like seeing them in 3D for the first time. Even though we've been handling the prototypes, we've had all this stuff or whatever, it's just like something about, they get so real when they're finally cast in Dwarvenite and here, and we'll be a whole bunch of them. It's, I don't know, it's so thrilling. Plus it's been, I don't know, it's been 6 months or 8 months, or it's been a really long time, so it's like they're kind of new and fresh again and whatever. So yeah, I can't believe how great these pieces are turning out.
Yeah, so
we have,
I think because we've been so overwhelmed with getting ready for all the rest of the stuff, that like it's wild to think. Yeah, Tyler's in chat, and he just said it's actually been 8 months. Like, that's how. Did
Tyler hear the part about we're selling his autograph?
Oh yeah, Tyler, we're selling so we're raffling off a mat with your autograph on it. So we're gonna need you to do that. Yeah. I'll be honest, the runes were the gateway for me back in Wildlands. Dude, the runes might be the most universally loved piece.
Wait a second.
They're really, really good looking.
Oh, here they are. Okay.
Legally not a raffle. Do we have an escarpment to pair the trifecta ledges with?
How about all of the escarpments? Would that suffice?
I think it'll satisfy the criteria, yeah.
All right. So, the idea with the trifecta pieces, we'll start with the small ones. Let's getting close.
And Rabbit says, and you cut most of them. That just means that we can add runes to more Kickstarters in the future.
Yeah.
You know?
That is, these are facts. In fact, let me put it, hang on, let me get something colorful. What terrain tray should I grab? What do you want to see?
Out of the, well, no, we don't have Wildlands terrain trays yet.
Well, not Wildlands.
Yeah, we don't have those yet.
Somebody yell at a terrain tray.
Use the water mat and have them be like a cliffside.
Alright, fine.
I don't know.
Alright,
fine. Rabbit says, but when? And Michelle's here. She says we're ahead of the game for the runes Kickstarter.
Michelle. Yeah, Michelle has a lot of there's a lot of ruins pieces that are sculpted that have not been released that are.
Well, the runes were her baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's actual genuine Michelle blood in some of these pieces. For reals. So the idea with the trifecta pieces, we have our big old escarpments. We have these little trifecta ledges. So if you wanted to build like a river, you'd put a floor. Wait, do I have a floor? Right, you'd have a floor thing over here. You'd have escarpments over there. You could build a river through or whatever. But then you can combine them to have them run flat up. Man, why? I don't know why I can't get things on camera. I guess it's like moving backwards because it's up. I don't know. So they can sit up against a floor, and you can build in line with them, or in line. Also, if you wanted to like build another layer up above, let's go a little higher. you can use the trifectas to then transition you up. Like these things are, there's going to be a little secret weapon. You'll be very glad you have them if you do.
Yeah.
So we have the full set of, these are the forest ones, I think. Yeah. So that goes with that guy.
I love how well we made use of repeating blueprints or repeating footprints in this stuff.
Well, it's one of our pieces of the secret sauce, right? Is anywhere you can repeat some geometry, you're baking in future proofing, and there's amazing sort of synergistic geometry baked into a lot of stuff that people might not even realize or might not even come into play now, but will at some point or whatever. So we really lean on that a lot, right? So these all have the same, these escarpments have the same profile as our original Dread Hollow escarpments. I don't know if you can see they have the same profile here, so then you can do this and build in line with everything. A little wider. Yeah, lots of thought goes into trying to make this stuff play together as well as can be, and then a lot of it's hidden, right? We don't even necessarily even tell people. You'll just sort of discover some of this compatible geometries as you play, which will be fun. Hopefully, we try and tell people, but we miss some of it. So that's a neat thing. We got this guy. Who's on there?
Thank you guys for the hype train and the gift subs and.
There's another hype train?
There's another hype train. Yeah.
Did Odin start it again?
I think Odin was part of it. Gilded Poison pushed it over the edge. Vertex Artist pushed it up to level 2. There's just a lot of.
You guys are the best. I feel, whether or not there's an official hype train going, I always feel like I'm on the hype train when we're here because it's just the best.
These are all fun, yeah. Jin Watson looks like he might have been the one to start it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Also, just notice the title. Does Nate know about the memes? Yes, I sent him Topulus. I sent him yours.
Is awesome. Are there more? Wait, there's plural memes?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, jeez. Wait, you can't. You come on. You can't hold back on me now. You got to. Internet is a dangerous place, it turns out. We got last.
Are those banks factory painted? Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Wait, no, those are
factory.
Are the test shots from the factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything here. Actually, this is factory painted too. This was Dread Hollow. Ooh, so you can see how that. Woo. I was gonna put this guy. This guy.
Oh man, how's it already almost 8?
Holy moly! We're gonna run out of time to build.
A lot of test shots.
Also, maybe 1 or 2 tech problems and.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe 1 or 2 tangents. Yeah.
We don't do tangents here. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Then this one doesn't fit quite so well yet. We're working on it. This is why we get test shots. Tyler was this one he sharpied? No, he was like sharpieing the bottom to try and tell them where.
Emergency pieces. So these are from our Kickstarter that we just ran last September?
July? August?
No, August or September. I think it started
and ended in September, started in August.
Yeah. So these are currently in production. What you're looking at right now is the stuff that the factory is sending us of basically the test castings of the sculpts that we did for that Kickstarter.
These are the first versions we've gotten of these, like the final factory versions.
Yeah. So they will be they'll be in the store later this year after the Kickstarter backers get their pieces.
Correct.
We'll put them in the store.
All right, so we have. Look at this. You ready to buckle up? This is the Titan's Tooth base. He's a big boy. Can you see from the, like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. Oh yeah,
I'm so excited we got this one.
See,
we haven't gotten the topper yet, right?
Speaking of grid, did people notice how subtle the grid is? You can see it, but it doesn't, like, at least for me, it doesn't irk me.
Oh wait, that one's gridded?
Yeah, these are all gridded.
I didn't even realize that was gridded.
You see the where's the line? See those lines? Whoop.
Oh yeah.
Grid lines.
It's super light. I think because it's white, it kind of blends in pretty well with the.
Well, Janet spent a lot of time trying to get it to be there, but not be in your face. So it's there, so you can count. You can see it. It's a grid, but it's not. It doesn't blow up the beauty of the thing. Like, you can still.
I genuinely thought those were the gridless versions.
No, they're all gridded. What's it?
Nice. I mean, I also am like looking at a stream as opposed to in person, but
yeah, it's true. It's easier to see in person. Now
we can kill a party in the water more technically. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell them exactly how far how far away from the coast they're able to swim.
We're looking at the Titan space. Anyway, this thing is a. Oh. It's a nice beefy.
That's just a good piece.
Oh yeah. It's a huge.
Is the Titans okay? So
here's like.
Is Wildlands Titan or is Wildlands Stairway to Violence the Titan's Tooth or the Oblivion Nexus?
Both. Right? It's probably more the Titan's Tooth because it's a two-part thing.
Fair.
But I think I don't know. Yeah, they're both kind of like a sort of a classic showpiece. I don't know. Yeah, this is a very large piece.
I can't wait for us to get the casting of the topper for that.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's such a good set piece for like a showdown.
Yes. That was the design. That was the hope. Let's see if we can put this in here.
Is the flexible water map available? I feel like I'm watching a teaser infomercial where I have my credit card out, but it's like, no, not for you.
It will be.
These maps were also from the Kickstarter, and they'll be going up in the store in a couple months as well. When the Kickstarter backers get their stuff, because the map that you're looking at right now, we also just got this in today. This is the test from the factory.
Yeah, we are. This is all the awesome fresh bits just arrived. All right, you ready for the final thing? So this is.
Is it my boy?
Yep.
Yes.
It's your boy. All right, so don't be alarmed. There's a couple of things. First of all, this is an expanded.
That immediately makes me alarmed.
Yeah. Nothing makes me more nervous than hearing "Don't be alarmed." So this is a polyurethane expanded master. Maybe not in polyurethane. I don't know what they cast these in. So this is a resin that expands roughly 3%, so that the mold is made from this, and then the final will shrink. The Dwarvenite shrinks about 3%, so it'll go back to its regular size. So this is about 3% oversized, and Tyler was very apprehensive of me taking this out of the office. So let's make sure I don't break it on camera. Boop, boop. Oh, it gets pan up. All right. Wow, this is. And it's glued to a piece of wood, so we got that going. What do I need to do? I'm gonna drop the stop. All right. So I was gonna don't be alarmed because he's unarmed.
Oh man.
Get some.
Yeah, it's the fire elemental myrmidon.
So let's glue these things on. So we had to enlarge the base a bunch for battery purposes. And we erred on the side of too large because we didn't want to have to go back and ship it back and forth again. Oh wow, this is not the right glue. I mean, it is, but it's so he's definitely got literally a large base, right? A 50 mil some circle. Ugh. But this guy's gonna have an LED. Man, am I 0 for 2 on glue? Come on, man. We'll see if it works.
I'll grab that later, most likely, because I had to make some choices on minis. Went with the LED basilisk.
Yeah.
I regret not getting 20. I think I'm getting like 8 altogether. I got a bunch unpainted because I want to try doing some stuff with like alternate paint schemes. Also, I felt like I had to support it because I wouldn't shut up about how we needed to bring it back.
Facts.
Fire Ramadan with LEDs and smoke around it, dude. Oh, I want to see a fogger build with it.
Oh wow.
I'm also very excited to use it because we recently, it took us a little bit to figure out what we wanted to do stat wise to make this monster stand out, and we thought of a cool thing for him that I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, we got some the stats for all the beasts, I think, and the plants, the flora and the fauna. We have some fun stuff. There's some great things to throw into your homebrew or ignore and make up your own.
It's also exciting to see this come back because this was Eli's first mini sculpt, right? Or at least it was like very rare that he does a mini sculpt.
He did the Apex Primordial, which is not much of a miniature. It's a bigature. I mean, that thing is 8 inches tall. But yeah, usually our team is our core team is all terrain focused, and then we have like Drew doing our minis.
Let's see. Single Myrmidon, double resin. Is there anything you wanted to do but didn't happen in Hellscape? This isn't the only mini that didn't make it.
Oh yeah, the worm that should never be.
Yeah. And Momo.
You know, and I almost smashed that master, so that would have been.
You can't. I can't believe you genuinely suggested it.
Yeah. There's no way we'll ever be able to make that mini, and it was like, seemed like a. Let's see the frustration. All right, so this guy, I don't know. Can we see? Should I stop now? Let's go even further.
Austin says, "I'd buy the worm that never should be in a second."
Yeah, we can't make it though. Is the problem? So this guy.
We should just release it as a STL file and let people print it.
Well, we didn't have to make it into an STL file, but yeah.
That's also completely fair.
Why am I getting out of focus? Here we go.
The worm that shall one day be. Is the Apex really a mini? It's kind of an interesting mixture between a mini and terrain, honestly.
Yeah. Right, so this guy's pretty awesome. I have an LED in him.
Excited.
And yeah, so pretty exciting.
And so the actual piece is going to be translucent and have LEDs in it.
Yeah. And be 3% smaller than this. But yeah, this is like a serious Myrmidon. This is not a medium. This is a large size Myrmidon. Also glued to a piece of wood. Should I try and dislodge this?
If Tyler's still here, I'll let him make the call on it. I'm afraid. He'll look great next to my Aspect of Fire mini.
What did Tyler
Michelle
say?
shouted no. I feel like that's almost as good as Tyler saying no.
All right, well, too late.
Oh, well, it's too late.
Michelle is always the voice of reason. Yeah, look at that nice 50 mil base. Yeah, I'm excited for this guy. All right, so that's all we got for test shots. Do we have any questions about Wildlands? And then we can start building.
Where does it need a hole drilled?
Yeah. Hey, you know,
Hmm?
do you know why so the reason I am so quick to cut and drill and modify pieces isn't because I like to destroy our amazing, beautiful stuff. It's because these are tools that are supposed to be yours, right? Like these things aren't meant to be static thing, right? You're supposed to take these and make them your own, and they're a tool in your storytelling toolbox, but they don't have to live the way they are, right? They're yours. You paint them a crazy way, glue something to it, cut a thing off of it, put a hole in it. Like these are yours to then take and further the story on your own. So I like to do that a lot, and I think you shouldn't be like, I don't want to be precious about them. Obviously, they're precious. They're expensive. They're beautiful dwarvenite, whatever. But like, don't be afraid to like give yours some personality and do a thing and drill a hole in it. Because I don't know, it's part of making it your own and enabling whatever, maybe you have something in mind that we didn't when we were putting together. Add your flavor to the story. That's why I want to cut and bend and drill, and I'm just constantly sort of looking to keep the they shouldn't be static, right? I want them to keep evolving, and the big evolution is we send them out into the wild and you guys take them and you build them and you flip them on their head and do whatever. But like they shouldn't be static tools. They're dynamic. They need to keep changing.
So you're saying it's okay to douse them with gasoline and light them up? I mean, you paid for it.
Well, I don't recommend it, but you could, and maybe you'd have this really cool melted scene of like
if it's part of your campaign, if when they beat the boss, if when they beat the BBE, he literally goes up in flames.
Or the dragon burned your castle, and so you burn it to make a thing.
Burn your 2-foot $400 Tiamat.
Yeah, whatever it may be. I do not recommend making resin letters that say the Dwarvenaut, putting Kevlar soaked in lamp oil on them and then lighting it on fire to make a title sequence for a movie, but doing it indoors and then wanting to have it roll for like 3 minutes so you can really, because you're shooting it, we overcranked it or I don't know. So I wouldn't do that. just hypothetically.
They're wondering if they can see one of the ruins next to an escarpment to see what the height difference is.
I gotta find
when will it ship? Maybe we don't have a hard date.
So
we don't want to give one until we know for sure.
So yeah, the reality is right now we absolutely have no idea because they haven't finished tooling some of the stuff. Like literally, we're still patching up the boat. We are cleaning up the teardrop inserts. There might be a couple other things that they find that are not quite there yet. So we don't know until they finish tooling. It's hard to know exactly how long all the casting is going to take. But they are in they're casting. Like their buckets of pieces are getting churned out. And we're, as test shots are rolling in, painted samples are rolling in. We have there's another 2 packages in transit right now, I think, and more stuff coming in. So it's moving, but we don't entirely know till we're up, because like you think it's all locked in, and then they get to a piece and there's something, oh wait, what about this thing, or oh, this isn't fitting, or in this case, this thing isn't fitting, this trifecta isn't fitting, so they have to go back and tweak the mold and whatever. So until we're through all of that, we won't know where we're at. But it's coming, it's moving. And you know what? We'll send out updates and we'll talk about it on this show every week. And we will get there. We will deliver.
Yeah. The reality is, even though, we're all getting vaccinated now and we're kind of starting to move out of this pandemic, there's still kind of lingering effects of it, and the factory isn't at full speed like they were before.
And we're, honestly, we're slower in terms of our international, like, we weren't able to go over there this year. We've been having, there's been much more back and forth of having to ship stuff back and forth. And then there also stuff's going, like there's another stop on the way to the Taiwan office, and Eli and Michelle haven't been able to come into the office, and then we're also shipping stuff to Pennsylvania and to Vermont, and there's just everything's just slower. It's like it's just this whole year has just sort of been like you're in the dismal quagmire. Where is it? We're in this. We're in this for a year. It's like, ooh, it really does look beautifully purple on this camera. Yeah. So, but we're getting there. We're tromping along. And you get to watch it every step of the way. Was that where they wanted to see this thing next to an escarpment? Was that?
Yeah, they were pretty happy about it. They're actually talking about it. Was there a rhyme or reason behind the epic scale of the runes? Everything else seems to have a logic, but these seem arbitrary. I think what we were going for is we wanted it to seem like a past civilization that wasn't around anymore, so we didn't want it to be following the logic of what you would see from like our like city builder stuff. We wanted it to feel like mysterious and like, you know, why were these structures so massive? Like it's a whole different culture.
It basically. The arches didn't look good short. They needed to be 3 inches. There's also that. It was that. Yeah, it was fundamentally that was it. I was like just doing these mocks. I wanted it to feel grand and stand out, and just needed to be bigger. It needed to have some vertical presence, and so it was 3 inches was the magic number. 4 inches was too big. 2 inches were standard. 3 inches was the magic number, and it means we have to have some sort of 1-inch rise system in the next city thing, so you can get 3 inches to be 4 inches or 2 inches to be 3 inches.
Is there still the possibility of 2 shipping waves?
Yes. Yes, there is. There's a very, very distinct possibility. Like I would bet some good money on it.
How do the runes compare to trees height-wise?
Depends on the tree. This is a what is this? This is the Dread Hollow small stump lump with our new small dead tree. This is wow, I have a bevy of trees.
Man, I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Trees? It was just
bevy.
420 yesterday. Oh, bevy, yeah. We're going to have to go wide. And you know what I should do? Okay, I need to put it down the mat so you can see these. Have a green. Yeah, we're going green. Now that I put everything down. It's funny, my black work surface with a bunch of black prototypes. Kind of hard to see things. Huh? All right. Yeah, I can't wait till we have the less ruined ruins. Will be. Let's see. Okay, look at Quildren.
Yeah, we don't have the intact arches yet.
Nay, where did this thing go? Here it is. Here's our hero. Oh, it's really dark, huh? Hold on. You know what this is a job for? That wasn't much of a guess. It's Luma Cube. Let's
see. Yeah, he's grabbing a light. Don't worry. They're saying put the blue down to give more contrast.
Okay, blue is a good idea. We call this one autograph blue because there's Tyler's big ol' John Hancock. Alright, there we go. How's that? Alright, there's a tree, here's a thing. Here's our friend, Mr. Ruin. Next to a Quildren. Next to Royal Roan. Next to... Oh, I got 2 of these guys? Let's put that one next to it.
Turn Matt over, use the white snowscape side of it.
Snowscape.
Yeah, they were asking for snow. They got it. just on the underside of everything else.
Slink root. Oh, this guy. This is a big.
Love those new trees. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
like
what
we really. Each tree has its own little
yes
personality to it.
Look at that guy. That is a lot bigger than the ruins. These are what we needed so badly when we originally did our Dread Hollows. Like we just had those simple, large and small deciduous, and now we have a full forest. It's really exciting. Does that help give a sense of scale?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, put a little guy. What are those things? Oh, they're called miniatures. What is this?
All right. What are we looking at?
Boop.
8:16.
We have made zero progress.
Yeah, we got to get to the actual heart of the episode. Although we had a lot of Wildlands stuff today.
You know, turns out Wildlands was the heart of the episode.
Yeah.
Heart of the
perfect in that setting.
Heart of the
yeah.
cards.
Well, especially once you see them painted and you see like the details of the vines and everything growing over.
Oh, it's gonna be outrageous.
I'm very, very happy with the.
All right. Any other prototype question? I mean, test shot questions before I put them away.
It looks like it. There were, questions about the holes, but we're going to talk about that next week.
Yep.
Let's see. Curved, snowy, modular ship sand.
Jammer.
Also, man, I need some more pieces from Wildlands. That grid is really subtle from this camera view. Yeah, I genuinely didn't notice it was gridded until he pointed it out.
Let's try on the overhead. Ooh, I have overhead here.
Let's see.
Wait, is that the? Yeah, you can see. I think. Can you see it? No. Yeah, you can sort of see it in the overhead, right down here, like. Some of these lines. See if it's more visible in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but more of the story is I think it's going to be. I think it's exactly what it needs to be. It's there as a tool, but it doesn't destroy the aesthetic.
I'm bummed I couldn't justify getting more forest terrain in the Kickstarter. Well, the good news is we're trying very hard to make sure that this stuff will be accessible in the store.
Well, until it sells out, and then we can't
sure.
half of it.
But we're trying to be ahead of the configuration thing.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Yeah.
But, well, start saving up now for the next one, so you can try and get as much as makes sense. All right, this, bump. All right, let's do some building.
Yeah.
Look at this big old floor.
We can get into the topics.
Oh yeah. Did I say that I hated sand? Is that a thing, or did that just?
It's just the joke. It's the Star Wars joke.
I've heard of Star Wars. I think it might catch on.
Yeah.
Unlike those computers. I didn't think so. In 7th grade, I just basically didn't pay attention in typing class because I didn't think computers were going to catch on. And I was wrong.
We're gonna talk sand. Yeah, sand is one of the main topics for today. I have another question as well in case sand doesn't cover all of it, but I think it'll probably cover all of it.
Well, it's a desert. Sand covers everything.
Yeah, that's fair. It gets everywhere.
Can't sand it.
It was your negative reaction to sculpted sand. Yeah. Let's see. It's all over the forums. Yeah, both the forums and the Discord were talking a lot about sand lately.
What's the gist of it?
So, in general, it seems that a fair amount of people think that one of the things that makes the most sense for us to go into next in terms of unexplored territory is doing sand tiles. And that's because it can double both as desert as well as being able to do islands, as well as being a way to transition into other environments, being able to transition like if we do it right, you can transition into wildland stuff to be like a kind of tropical island, especially if we do jungle stuff as well. then that can really help highlight like tropical environments. Being able to go down into water terrain trays to make like an oasis. Being able to what were the other things? Being able to use it as just a general kind of bank system for kind of working rivers into a lot of environments. Sandbars, sandbanks, sandy atolls, cactus scatter, all this sort of thing. But and I guess the main thing is they're saying like it's not exactly that sand would be the main appeal of the biome, but just that it's the bread that lets you make the sandwich. It lets you put in the cool stuff. It lets you work in the like really fascinating rock formations. It lets you work in interesting desert plant life or fossils or other like strange structures.
It's a good baseline.
You could do it with negative space, but having sculpted tiles gives you more options.
Fair, makes sense. Look at this I just found. I don't know what I had. Wait, this is. So this is
a. Sand would be perfect. It's possible. So here's the. This is. I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts on this in particular, because when the discussion came up about this, about the idea of transitioning, like using sand to like transition into like a tropical island, I was like, at some point, you have to transition from the sand into like the grass.
The grass, yep.
So how do you do that? Do you put grass on the edge of the sand and then it doesn't work going into like a full desert? Or do you make it double-sided with grass, like with it transitioning into grass on one side and staying all sand on the other side?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Well, wait, quickly, who can guess what this is? This thing I'm showing on the close-up camera.
We have not done a giveaway yet this stream. We will, though.
Oh, yeah, we should probably do it. It's 8:20.
Yeah, we can do it now. 8:20! Yeah, we can do the fan building giveaway now. Teardrop insert is what people are saying.
So this is the Toby special. So this is one of the... Oh, man, where did I put them?
They're saying 420 paraphernalia,
yeah.
which makes the Toby special sound a lot more subjective.
So this was... So the first teardrop insert piece we did was this poison bloom that Nina sculpted in Plaguestone. And we knew we were doing the teardrop, so we preemptively built this one in, so then it would work for Wildlands like a year and some later. Anyway, when we were building out stuff for Wildlands, Toby took that, made a mold of this, poured it, I can't remember exactly where, maybe it was for fitting the things, but then didn't have the whole, like, just so we, didn't do the full pour, so it doesn't have the plant part in the top to use for sizing us. And then I took it and I drilled a hole in it and I put this these were for modular trees. I was doing these dowels with magnets in them to just sort of test out like modular tree things. So this was the tree stump mock-up of the teardrop insert, poured in clear resin because I guess there was some left over. I don't know, but yeah, that's the sort of things that just I'm lying around here. Anyway, so sand and deserts. Now there's definitely a logic to doing like beaches. Beaches are very exciting. Tropical islands are very exciting. The desert itself is pretty exciting, and sand is exciting, right? Sand is fascinating, right? There's we could definitely do something. We could definitely do something interesting with sand. And I don't know when we're gonna get there, but it certainly seems like one of the more likely areas to cover in the wilderness.
There's been talk of doing where like if we did a Wildlands sequel, that it would make more sense to target other biomes than to expand on the ones we've already done, because Dread Hollow and Aranthor both feel very well served now.
Yep.
And so when you look at those three, the three that seem the biggest are jungle, desert, and Arctic / tundra.
Yep.
And in theory, desert and Arctic could share a lot of similar sculpts with a different paint job. in terms of covering the base ground.
Yeah.
I think the challenge that both of them have, particularly in deserts, I think the biggest challenge with desert would be finding a way to do the dunes that seem like a must-have part, is a way to like do dunes, but still have them be playable.
Yeah, it's doable. It's dunable. You just like there needs to be some gentle divots or sort of flat parts. You slope it up, have a little flat part. I don't know. It's hard because you need that beautiful crest across. That serpentine crest on it. But then there can be some divots along the way or something. Or I don't know. Yeah, because it needs those dunes are beautiful, and I feel like honestly, the smart way to do desert is negative space with some beautiful large dunes, right? 8-inch long large dunes and stuff that you then use to break up some sort of affordable surface coverage.
There's also so much interesting elevation we can do. We can start making like the shapes that you get. Like if you look at like some of the deserts in Utah, like some of the rock formations you get there are wild.
Yeah. Ask Michelle about it. She grew up there. Well, you could do some really neat transition pieces that were sand to rock that was Aranthor rock. So then you could use that, like you could have sloped sand up to your rock piece and then use that to build existing Aranthor pieces. So you could put like you could build this cool step stump crag thing onto a thing that was rock transitioning into sand, and like use a bunch of your cool Wildlands and Aranthor pieces in there. And there's definitely some fun stuff we could do.
I think what would make the sculpted sand tiles make the most sense and work the best, and this is not even counting the solutions for dunes necessarily, because I think that's a whole discussion. It goes back to like the how do you do the grassy slope thing and have it be playable as well. Is I think just having tiles where they all have ways to do gradual elevation changes, because I feel like that's a big part of deserts, is because it's constantly shifting. Like you don't have solid flat ground really. It's constantly rising and falling.
Yeah, it's an ocean of sand.
So having pieces that like maybe half of this piece is like sloped like half a floor height up or something. Like some kind of gradual elevation system I think works really well. And then something that can also take just a bunch of interesting scatter. I love the idea of having like a massive like dragon skull or something, and like one of the eyes you could also like sneak like a peg hole for putting a tree in or something. So that you can like have like plant life growing out of the skeleton if you want, or like some other pull accessory. I love like you could work in a ton of runes. Could be dropped into there.
Ruins or runes?
Both, honestly.
Right. Fair.
Like deserts are absolutely deserts are one of the easiest places to drop like destroyed civilizations.
Yeah.
Or just like ancient like magical things that used to be there and aren't anymore for some reason.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do catacombs next, and then maybe castle, palisade, whatever, or something, and then maybe that's my mental trajectory of where we're going.
Theoretically, you could also, if we do deserts and jungles and stuff, you could also theoretically work palisades into it, because those are places where you would build
true.
like
True.
Those are places where you would build frontier bases.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. Fair. Well, we will see. We have to. But I'm not fundamentally against sand. But there's a bunch of other things we need to do first. But yeah, okay. So let's talk about this build for a second. What are we doing? So this. Hang on, I get all crooked. So this people voted last week. Was it last week? I don't know. Time is. Oh wait, that's wrong. People voted last week to do. It was ice and city. And they decided to try and do this sort of flooded, sunken town thing. And when I know Rabbit really wants ruins in here. So I got to work some ruins in here. What what should we work on? Do we want to do up on the, do we want to do the ice area, or do we want to do the underwater area? What's more interesting right
now? Which part we do today?
Yeah, because I think it's how much. Oh, we have to do a giveaway before we do anything. All right. Well, people think about that. Let's do the giveaway. What's the giveaway word? Sand. Ruins.
Maybe something more complicated than sand. Yeah. All right. I started a poll for which area we build first.
Sand jammer. I'm just trolling myself now.
Sand jammer. Wonderwall.
Wonderwall. All right.
That's random. Are we doing Wonderwall?
Yeah. What the heck?
All right. Apropos of nothing, we're doing Wonderwall.
So this
anyway, here's Wonderwall.
If you want to win, what do they win, Chris?
Oh, right. So our giveaways are now international. If you are outside of the U.S., you can win a $50 gift card. If you are in the U.S., you can win either a $50 gift card or a starter dungeon. So if you want to be entered to win, just type Wonderwall in chat. You'll be automatically entered. Yeah. Can we show the fan build while we're doing it?
Yes. Man, I need more ice. All right.
Maybe we should make Arctic stuff. If you oh, make sure you grab the mic if you're gonna be over there.
Wait a minute. Yeah. All right. So, what do we have this week, Chris?
So Merc recently got his Wormwood gaming table, and he did a massive build to kind of celebrate. And so that's what you're looking at. Nate actually hasn't seen this build yet.
I saw the first.
That'd be fun to show. Yeah.
I thought it.
So one thing he did that's really cool is he has part of the build up on the tabletop, and then he transitions down into the vault. I think he uses basically, how well did the base hold the weight? I'm pretty sure he said there weren't any problems.
I mean, they have a lot of our terrain over at Wormwood, so I'm assuming they've tested with it.
Probably, yeah. I think the point is, I think they made it to be it was made to be a gaming table, so I imagine it was purposefully made to be very sturdy and be able to hold a lot of weight.
All those puzzle floor. This is a beautiful build.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about Merc really loves like themed terrain, so you always see a lot of hellscape. You see ice caverns. Just a massive build.
It's like
it's cool seeing it on the table too.
Looks like he painted a bunch of this stuff himself, right? Those stairs. It's like, wow, is it?
There's like 4 connecting bridges over the lava.
A bridge over a lava.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this.
It reminds me of Portland. Not the lava part, but just like all the bridges overlapping.
The double stairway to violence there.
Yeah.
So good. Wow. The dread.
Looks like when you get back to it, 70% of the vote is for underwater.
All right. Look at this. It's combining city and dungeons and Aranthor and Hellscape and Forsaken Temple all in this photo, plus a light panel. Like, that is outrageous.
Yeah, when he posted it, he was just like, all right, I just got to call this build done. I think he's kind of like went nuts. You know, he was excited. It was the first, build
Dude,
on the table.
Awesome. Yeah. You know, I really look forward. Yeah, he definitely painted this bridge himself. Those cool red stones and stuff.
This was posted on the forums and on the Discord.
I really look forward to one day having a house and thus having a game room, and thus having a game table. It's okay operating in a garage/basement here, but there's not a lot of space. I don't have a table. I love the Lemur pits turned sideways. Whew. Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he painted these
Just
little
making
guys.
like wall traps.
Green inside, like yeah. There's a bunch of stuff he painted here. He's like,
yeah.
Wow, look at this.
It's a very massive, impressive build.
You know, but it flows really well, even though it's drawing from a bazillion different sets. It flows really well. Like it's just got a great. Wow, man, I want to go play on that. Puzzle floor everywhere, man. He's going puzzle floor crazy. I love it. There's puzzle floor circle in the upper right. There's puzzle floors down below. Like all those epic stairs. The cages in behind the thing. Like, man.
Yeah.
There's so much fun stuff to look at. Wow, look at those stairs. Wow, and then that's mixing. So this is mixing the dais stairs with the original grand staircase stairs. It looks like, am I making that up? No, it's 3. Those are the stair jacks. I take it back. Wow, look at this.
Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah, I thought
this is a solid like 10-session dungeon. Yeah, this is massive. So he hasn't actually run a game on it yet. His group's going to be able to do in-person games again in a couple weeks after they're all vaccinated. And so he's thinking about actually running this or a slightly modified version of this and seeing how it goes.
Wow, this is awesome.
I'm just imagining actually having all this space.
Yeah.
We've done some big builds in the production room, but this is still like, I don't know, this is a lot.
It's got multiple light panels going. Look at this. Wow. It is awesome. Love it, communities. The whole, like, wow.
This is the medium table, I think he said.
Yeah.
So this isn't even their largest table.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But,
it's massive.
Yeah, it's a great...
it's good stuff.
It's a great build.
All right. I'm going to roll this giveaway.
Woo!
Got 84 people entered. So, if you don't win, don't be too sad. You have an 84th of a chance.
Are you talking to 6 of clubs again?
Yeah. Although, if 6 actually wins this one, he told IME that he would give it to her if he won.
Aww.
So, if this actually ends up being the day, it'd be something else. All right, let's see.
Turn around.
Rolling now. No, it's Malvernus.
Woo!
All right, Malvernus. I'm gonna message you. We'll get your email, and you just tell us whether you want a starter dungeon or a gift card, and we will get that set up.
Congrats.
Just gotta get your email. Oh wow, where are you?
All right.
All right. So let's get building underwater.
Yeah. All right. So this is where we were last we left our intrepid adventurers. Let me pop this thing out. So we're doing a thing where there's going to be, we're building under here, and then we're going to put the ice over it, and or put the water overlays over it. It should be really, it should be cool. But I must have more water overlays somewhere. I don't know. I can't only have 2 straights and a curve. That doesn't add up. But so what should we? Is Rabbit still here?
He was here earlier. I haven't heard from him, did I? Though I don't think.
I was gonna say, what are we putting here? So, what do we want to put underwater here? Do we want to have intact buildings, ruined buildings, a mix, something else? Thinking. All right, so the fun gag will be to have some of these like be 2-story buildings that are coming up and out of the water, but then the water's running through them. And
he's here.
I was gonna say, Rabbit. So
it says ruined buildings, please.
Okay, he's really been patiently waiting. He said he was spamming it in the comments last week, and he. I mean,
it makes sense. It's a flooded city.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a lot of those buildings to be in great shape.
He was hassling me on Twitter about it. It's a good. All right. Ooh. I'm gonna So we got some ruins. We got. Is there anything else we should work in here?
What other? Do you have that? Do you have that sunken mausoleum sculpt?
Oh boy.
Let's see. Having a building with a floor with a hole in it on top of the ice/water, so you have to drop down into it to get to the basement area.
Yes. Ship it. Ooh. I'm in for that. All right. In fact, let's do. Here's some ruins for you, Rabbit. You know what we're gonna do? I'll do one of these. The ruins building will do a thinking that will be like intact below the water and then ruined like above the water. It should look pretty cool. In fact, maybe that's
Talking this says ship it, you say? Let's see. What are we looking at? What ruins do we have?
I've got city ruins here.
Oh man, that would be a really cool effect.
What
He's gone.
I had an idea.
All right, go for it.
What were you thinking though?
I'm thinking it'd be cool to work in some kind of light puck thing.
Oh, except I don't have one here.
Under the waves.
Yeah, it would be super cool. What I was thinking, I don't know if this is gonna work. They might be too small.
A rune. We can have a ruined tower, where a bit of it is like poking up above the waves, and the rest of it's been like knocked over and is like scattered on the icy part.
Yes, very into that.
Really curious to see what your idea is. What we end up pulling out.
It's not that crazy, I don't think, but something's. Oh, it's magnets. Hold on. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna do anything. I was thinking of doing like stone building down below with Tudor up above, and then I was realizing I was like, ooh, the old dungeon, the old resin dungeons might make a really nice foundation, or like a make a really nice basement level, because they feel like wet, field stony, whatever. I think there might be just annoyingly just it kind of works. It's okay. You know what's even better? They just have a nice, like, they look like they're underwater.
Yeah, I get that. Let's see. Love resin. Underwater volcano with lava under the ice, steam coming out of a fissure.
Wow.
Just add like another element to this.
This. Now I'm really. Now we're getting a little crazy. What if?
Uh-oh.
I don't have quite enough, so we'll have to get crafty. But I have.
Which ones do you got there?
So these are the little resin, the 1-inch pedestals to go with the stairs. These are the old resin ones, which once again feel kind of wet and foundational or whatever. My thought was, if I did a foundation with these, the problem is it's going to mean we're bisecting a building at the 1-inch mark instead of on the floor. So I don't know what that means yet. It might mean a saw. I don't know. We'll get there. We're just gonna. My theory is, I can't even see it. Like,
looks like sludge on that old resin, doesn't it? Like
yeah.
Sludge color.
Right. It's like got that slimy, underwatery. Like it's been down there for a little bit. Oh, do I have exactly? Oh, look at this. Okay, it's magic. It's.
We need a stairway to violence on top of a stairway to violence.
Or like what Toby did. He did on that stream. He did like 9 of them on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's a little rickety, but
remember when during Wildlands you tasked Toby with building with an original Aranthor and a Heart of the Mountain, and he was like, "I'm just gonna try and build the tallest mountain I can."
And then
on
he
this table.
stacked 47 Stairway to Violences on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good times.
Stairway on Titan's Tooth.
We will once we have some stuff in hand, we can do some craziness. So that's a little. It's not as great as I want it to be, but it's the right idea. Uh-oh. I just lost Chris. Oh no. Wait, what happened? Did I lose everything? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Is the stream still going? Give a thumbs up if the stream's still going. Is the stream still going? Can you hear me? Send me a signal. I can see you. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you're... Blink once if you've been captured. All right. Wait, am I gone? No, is the internet... Wait. Slack me. What's going on? Hold on. Oh no, now I lost it. I shouldn't be allowed alone in the basement here. Hold on, I'm gonna leave this. I don't know. Well, at least I can still see you, but I don't know if the stream is still going. Go like this. Can you make an X if the stream is not going? Make an X with your like this, with your like your straight edge. No? Oh.
It happened.
Give a signal if there's.
Just act like nothing happened.
So you can tell our team tactics are really solid because we really knew how to communicate well when.
Well, the thing that went wrong was the one way that we can communicate. Like for some reason, your laptop just died.
Nah, it's big now. But I said, just give it if the stream is dead, go like this. And you thought I just was trying to like give you a single solidarity.
Nate, the only way I would be able to see you making that X is if the stream was still alive.
There's a fact, huh? No, because you could still see me.
If the stream was dead, I wouldn't be able to see it because the call where I can see you on video was dead.
My other video, my Slack video on there is dead also. I mean, is off, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
The only way I could see it was through the stream.
Fair. Well, welcome back to On the Anvil, episode 46.5, where we're going to spend 10 minutes having a drink and talking about terrain.
Oh, man.
Did we miss anything?
Oh, man. Hey, the chat stayed active the whole time, so thank you guys for staying through all this. We're sorry for the technical difficulties. I cannot wait for us to just be regularly doing this from the office again.
Yeah.
Just to have just be able to troubleshoot more easily. Oh, man. All right.
So, we're building an underwater thing. The sunken... See, I still don't like this. I wanna like the concept of it, but it's not doing what I wanted to do it. Plus, I don't know how I was gonna bisect this building at the 1-inch mark exactly yet. But
that's a good point.
And the dungeon one's just not like, I don't know. People like it. Should we do a dungeon? Should we do a dungeon base?
We could make something that isn't like a house necessarily. Some kind of public structure.
A public structure, a library.
Yeah, we could try to make like the remains of a library or a temple or something. A shrine maybe that'd be smaller and easier to pull off.
I think conceptually this would look neat. like the... I wonder if that reads. You know what it is? I want to. I'm annoyed that I don't. The water is too cleanly breaking. What we need are some ruins. I think. I don't know. Yeah. The illusion isn't there yet, right? With the snow up here. Right, like this is how this feels like a buried.
It's not a flat plane.
Yeah, I hate breaking it like so perfectly. You know what it is? It feels too intact, like seeing a whole house above. Like doing this doesn't bother me so much. Like seeing the like when you see the roof, if you see like the roof part above and the rest of the water, then it feels like it's sunken. But like seeing the full part of a house above feels.
If anything's up above, it needs to be just like pieces of the walls.
Yeah, little bits of the house, roof and railing and whatnot. So maybe I wish I could elevate this up even more. That's let me get a weather vane. Let's see.
Stone ruins.
Oh, do people have any other questions or comment topics aside from sand they want
to? There was a question about your opinion on a couple other systems.
I have strong opinions.
All right. Sculpted rivers, sculpted dirt roads, street expansions, and elevation for roads, streets, and sewers. Generally, how you feel about those things?
I love all of them. There's a lot of things that I want to do. Like, I would love to do a streets expansion. I would love to do a boroughs expansion. Like, these things haven't sold as well as we'd like them to versus a lot of other things. So we've sold some Imperial Streets, we've sold some stuff, but like fundamentally as a whole, streets haven't moved as well as something like, say, buildings or roofs or dungeons or caverns or whatever.
One thing we're finding is the streets are something that people tend to go to after they've gotten the rest of the city stuff. It's more of a secondary purchase, and I think it's because like you need the buildings for the streets to like have a purpose, but you don't really need the streets for the buildings to have a purpose.
Well, and the streets are currently a little limiting. Cutting a piece.
Yeah,
because it's too tall. So one of the reasons that they might sell better if we did an expansion, but we're not doing expansion because they're not similar with the boroughs, right? Like there's so many cool 45-degree turns and stuff in the boroughs. There's all this stuff I want to do in the boroughs, but they've never sold so well. So it's like we focus on some other things. What were the other things that they mentioned? Sewers expansion I would love to do. We're not doing that in this one. Sculpted rivers is I wanted to shoehorn Sculpted Rivers in on this Kickstarter, but I didn't, because it didn't really make sense. But no, I would love to do Sculpted River tiles. It would just be amazing. As would. Oh wait. What was the other thing that someone said?
Sculpted dirt roads.
Yeah, those would be pretty cool too.
And then elevation for roads, streets, and sewers and the like.
Yeah. That may make it in to this next one. We'll see. Does anybody have any idea what are fun things I could poke up above the water that give you a sense of sunken, flooded village?
I wish there was a good way to do like the top of a dead tree.
Well, paint up that Wildlands one.
Oh, you could put like little lily pads and like trunks and stuff on top of the overlay if it's supported well enough.
Yeah, that is definitely true. We could do some
things that would float up like barrels.
Flotsam and jetsam. That's a good one. You know, we could do this sort of a gag. We could have
cut a mini in half to look like a body floating on the water.
Ooh. Also, can use the these guys.
How about the floating log? Yeah. Some of the swamp stuff would work really well here.
Yeah, because we don't have it, but yeah. Hang on, look at these. Wait a minute, do the benefits first.
Maybe something in build of the month would make it a good start for streets. I think
They're
what
so
we're starting to find is if
expensive.
the build of the month is a really good way to show people the value in some of the sets they maybe don't look at first.
Yeah.
So we could probably do something cool that uses streets.
It's be an expensive one, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's edutainment build of the month, right? It's showing you how to use some stuff, and it's hopefully entertaining. And
Broken Boat from Caverns Deep.
Ooh, Broken Boat is a fun. Could do this sort of a Broken Boat, barrel, bodies. I'm
trying to think like what parts from a city could be. Oh man, what are like the like a flag like sticking up above the waves that was like on the town hall or something.
Flag top of a tree is a fun. That's a fun one. Right, because we could do this.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get away with just the like one of the canopy pieces from the original Dread Hollow trees. The Peacock Fountain.
Oh yeah, fountain. Man, can I tell you? Where's the? Do I not have a large tree right here? I regret not making that a pole accessory.
I mean, with a drill.
Yeah, that was true. Ooh, is that a challenge? Wait.
I don't know if it's a challenge so much as just an inevitability. I think you've pulled out a power tool in at least 50% of the recent on the Anvils.
This kind of tool.
Isn't there a weather reading device? A weather vane or something?
I literally have it at
oh yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, we could do this sort of a...
Sometimes I'm looking at chat instead of the visuals. Could extend the ruins under the water instead of a solid building there. Maybe make a large underwater building too.
Yeah. What was the other? The others. I gotta write all these down. So I'm not gonna be able to do this all night. This is gonna be a 3-episode thing.
Throw an LED post under there. Man, what if there was like a light that was still on? I don't know if that'd make any sense.
Oh, you know, we put those lantern posts in the reorder because you guys were asking for them on the other thing.
Oh, we got lantern that went through?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we like after that episode we were like, hey, there's like some interest in these. Can we get these back in the store?
Yeah, it was just one of those things that had, for whatever reason, had never been like flagged, and it was like a no-brainer because they sold well. They're awesome. What were the others? Barrels, lamppost, bodies. What was the other things we could do above
fountain.
Water? Oh yeah, the fountain. Oh yeah. Or a flag. Other things that stick up.
We could have like a market that's like been overrun, and that could be like what the flotsam and jetsam is above, and you've got like the stalls and stuff still under the waves.
I definitely cut a couple barrels diagonally.
Yeah. Gargoyles.
Ooh.
a wagon or a trebuchet. He's all the way in the... I'm just seeing all the tubs that he has in this garage.
Dude, it's all just terrain storage.
Yeah, like the amount of storage. At some point, we should do just like a walkthrough of everything you've got in there.
I need to finish. I need to finish sorting and labeling everything. I'm making very good progress, but I could definitely do a walkthrough. It's sort of a masterclass in verticality, right? 6 foot high, like everything's over my head. Just.
Did you see all the like Sterilite containers that Liam has? Yeah. Liam O'Brien has just like awesome. Behind him.
Yeah, towering.
I knew Matt Mercer had a lot of stuff, but I guess it makes sense that Liam would have some too.
Yeah, Liam is a solid backer. He's backed, I don't know, every Kickstarter or something. I'm looking at the pheasant. I'm like,
the pheasant.
Where do I cut it? Michelle, where do I cut this?
I wonder how many people get like emotionally scarred by watching you cut into pieces they wish they had.
We're gonna make it better. We're gonna maybe we won't do it right now, but think of it, cut it right here, pop a pole, accessory peg in it, drill the hole in there, and then we can put anything on the top. That's what my regret is. Like, this could have been, we could have just swapped anything you want on the top of this fountain.
I see what you mean now. Yeah, you could put a gargoyle on it. You could put
anything. A head on a pike. You want to make it the evil fountain. You throw your
you could literally put like the weather vane bird on there, and then it would be just like straight up a Zelda reference.
I don't know the reference. I played the first one.
Don't worry about it.
I played the first one. The Legend of Zelda. Gold cart for your NES.
Dude, the gold cartridge was it was such like a cheap nothing thing, but it was a very good marketing
gimmick. It was everything. It was everything. Like, there's nothing like it.
I remember, man, whenever a cartridge was like another color as a kid, like I lost my mind. Well, I had a blue Nintendo 64 cartridge of like Tony Hawk. Well, I had the gold and silver like Pokemon Stadium 2 cartridge.
Well, they put some thought into it, and you're like, well, if they put this much thought into the case, man, the game, like, whoo, it's special. Like, it told you that it was special.
Yeah, the yellow Donkey Kong 64 cartridge was good.
I'm making a new piece right now.
Maximum Carnage red Super Nintendo cartridge. Yeah, I miss having colorful consoles too.
Ooh, that's a good, right? The floating one barrel now is 2 floating. Cut it at a little angle so they feels like it's.
That's really cool looking, actually.
Yeah, that kind of thing is going to go a long way.
I still love the idea of us offering barrels that are like that are bisected, so they can be like turned over and used as like little stools or chairs, or put together to be a full barrel.
Or a coracle, you could like float away in it.
DK64 is my favorite 64 game. Dude, it's one of my favorites too. I think they haven't remade it because like a lot of people really don't like that game, apparently.
What?
Yeah. It's which is unfortunate. I liked it a lot, but oh well. I guess I'm wrong. Spelljammers all over again.
Dude. Jeff Grubb, where are you?
This is an angry letter to Jeff Grubb.
Another one.
Yeah, the barrels are a really good effect.
Cut this one on the vertical axis, so then this is like a floating. These ones can float this way. This is literally 2 barrels now, or 4. I just doubled my amount of barrel terrain. Have
the barrels with pole accessory holes. Then you can put things in an upturned half barrel.
Whoa! Look at that! Look at that little. That's a great little effect. Man, that was a fun.
Wait.
And if I need to, I could always glue them back together if I didn't.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like they're a difficult shape.
No.
That's really cool. Need more dwarven forge, cut your pieces in half. Yeah, now you've got twice as many barrels.
I know.
Technically.
I'm really making.
As long as they're used in this way.
But you could put them in acid. You could bury them in the snow, right? You could put this.
Rare made some of the best 64 games, and then Nintendo let them go. Well, the funniest thing about that whole situation is Microsoft bought Rare because they thought it would give them the rights to Donkey Kong. And it wasn't until after they had bought them that they realized, no, the rights to Donkey Kong are still with Nintendo. They didn't come with Rare. And yeah.
What should we do? Is it already 9:15?
You can put them on the ground for buried barrels.
Yeah.
Ooh, you can have some of them like in the snow.
Yeah, I'm saying. These barrels are gonna go. I'm gonna have to cut more barrels. I'm like, my new. Yeah, barrels.
Yeah, it is already 9:12, but so
like
we spent longer on the test shots than I thought we would.
Which is probably going to be a reality for a lot of the episodes to come. In that there's more and more.
Fair, we did have a lot of test shots this time. We had the mats. We had the Myrmidon, which required assembly.
Yeah. And peeling off the wooden base. Yeah, I'm very excited. They should cut more barrels. Yeah.
Test shots. What did we cover? We've got the texture mats. We had the fire elemental Myrmidon. We had some escarpments, ledges, and cliffs. We had one of the drift stones. So Nate showed it suspended off an escarpment. We had the Titan's tooth base right there. What else?
That wasn't a drift stone. That was the little the rocky outcropping, whatever it's called.
Right, the outcropping.
Yeah, it's a small one. The drift stones are bigger, and they're covered with wyverstone. I made like very little progress on this build today, but I did.
Well, because when we got to it, everything died.
Just make the sign. If we're off the air, make the sign, Chris.
If you can't see me, do this.
It's foolproof, apparently.
You should make urban rune scatter, broken barrels, piles of books, etc.
Yeah, that stuff is fun. All right, well.
Market stall on its side.
Could also cut that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many good things to do. All right, so we should call this one. Oh, I've got the power over here. Let's do this.
Do we maybe work on this a bit more tomorrow as well after we talk about reconfigs? Or do we talk about reconfigs while doing this?
No, because I want to show off the reconfigs.
Right, we're gonna have the actual configurations.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe we'll. I'll just keep chipping away at it each time we've finished up stuff we can just.
Do we do that at home or in the office?
Home. I have everything. I have. Yeah, I have everything. I can put together these configs.
All right, cool.
Looking at the shelves, yeah, we got this. I have to scavenge up a few of them, but basically I want to show So we have four new city sets. We're the new castle set, new Aranthor set, new dungeon set, new miscellaneous set, and then talk about some future reconfigs. Talk about what else you'd like to see. Talk about maybe we'll see train trades. I don't know. We'll stuff to look at. It'll be fun.
The reconfigs won't be available for purchase anytime soon. Like we have to still get them made and shipped here. It's going to take a couple months.
By a couple, maybe 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I don't know.
It's the factory has to make them and ship them and that whole thing. When can we see these reconfigs? Next week. Next week's episode is going to be all about the reconfigured sets we've made for a bunch of different biomes.
Yeah. And we'll talk about a couple of other ones we're working on, and it'll be fun. We'll show off some new core sets we have going on, and it's a good one I want to hear what you guys would like to see. Also, like we'd love some input on what else you'd like to see.
Is there an extra stream tomorrow? No, tomorrow we've just got the hobby hang as usual. Although Nate is going to be on D&D Beyond's Twitch channel, along with Jason from Realmsmith. They'll be talking about world building.
Terrain building. It's
Well,
code.
that's world building, just
Yeah.
both narrative and physical world building.
Basically, D&D Beyond wanted us on, but didn't want to get in trouble with WotC because of their relationship with WizKids. So we'll be talking about terrain, but maybe under the guise of we'll organically get there in conversation. I hope no WotC spies are watching. Greg Tito, are you watching? He won't have
in the Discord. Yeah, I'll put an announcement in the Discord when they're about to go live.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on D&D Beyond's Twitch channel.
Yep. 1 hour, one fun hour. Yeah, please show up and troll us in the comments and see if we get things lively. Let's make it a I don't know.
Let's give them the best ratings they've ever gotten on the show, so they're like, oh wow, we should have Dwarven Forge on more often.
Yeah. Yeah, don't tempt me to do something wild.
3 p.m. G's during work time, dude. I mean, we didn't get to pick it. This is when they do their show.
I will have. I'll make sure. I'm doing it from right here. I'll have blades and everything ready to go. I'll make sure the power tools are sharpened up. We'll
just be casually drilling into stuff during the during the talk.
Like sonic things. Get that little chop saw out. Yeah. Fun. So we have Hobby Hang tomorrow night. We'll be back next week to talk about reconfigs. I'm on D&D Beyond tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully we'll be able to give you a date on the website next week, and we'll have some more. I think we'll have a few more Wildlands things to show. I think we have the new tote bag is supposed to show up any day now. We have a bunch of the rods, a couple more pieces, maybe paint samples. I don't know. You know what I should do? No, those will be gone. Oh, I didn't show the. Did you want to see the teardrop? Is that nuts?
Go for it. Oh yeah, you said you were going to show them the pictures. We should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at the teardrop update.
It's not a ton.
I completely forgot. We said we were gonna. Well, it's because we showed so much. Also, I guess another brief thing. If anybody here is into Magic the Gathering, on the Discord, we've recently made a card games section, and people have been setting up some like online Magic the Gathering matches using webcams to go top down and look at the cards and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, that's happening on the Discord. Looks like we're trying to get regular games going.
Uh-oh, I just knocked you off the...
Oh, DMN played Toby yesterday. How did that go? Apparently Toby won very handily.
Yeah, Toby does not mess around.
He spends a lot of... When Toby's passionate about something, he spends a lot of time fiddling with it, and
yeah, he can make connections. He would just be like, look at a set and be like, oh, this is, it's just like he's made some of the most outrageous decks I've seen, like just absurd combos. Well, they're either just he absolutely crushes you, or is a spectacular failure, right? Because it's like this elaborate scheme of this, this feeds into this, and I gotta get this, pull that, and then, when this contraption goes, it's just like the ultimate death ray. But you can also just pull out the plug and be like, aha. But there's he's just like a mad scientist of them. So here's 3 of the teardrops that Eli is working on. So these are expanded masters. So these are about 3% larger than the final pieces will be. So these are a casting of our master that's expanded slightly, and then he's added green stuff onto those castings to make them fit better. Here's the other side of those. And then here's those in 2 of the floors. So it's a nice snug face. So you can see where all the green stuff is. Those were gaps before that were just killing us. We couldn't get these. But
so basically, adjusting the sculpt is going to make them actually fit better.
Yeah, we needed just a variety of reasons things weren't lining up right, so we had to basically modify out the sculpts. And then these are going to get turned into metal molds.
Looks like Nate tried to bake cookies and things went wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't bake.
Yeah.
But, alright, on that note, we'll call it a All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will see you next week. Maybe I'll see some of you tomorrow. Chris will see you on the Hobby Hang. And thanks for hanging out. You guys are the best. Bye.
Bye.